We're going over the blades and the different types of lightsabers right now.
Manufacturer. This is an inch
Nick
out
Webb.
equipped for fencing and TSL. Now, if you notice, it's got a red Zuba. We will allow Zubas in this. There was some thought that we would break a blade, but we haven't broken the blade yet. So, 16 inches, you can do it. We also allow, in sits, we also allow cross blades. So this is it. You can't score with the actual cross blades, but certainly this is an Excelsior from JQ Sabers. You can certainly fence with this. It's a heavy beast. In a melee, it really wears you down. If you're doing right away, this is a heavy thing to sort of use. For particularly for a Saber, this is your standard blade. This is a Shiva by Pack Store, and this is pretty much the standard. This is my Saber. This is an in-chow. There's not a lot of difference between the two, except in price. The in-chow is certainly a better Saber, but if you don't have a lot of money and you're opening up a school, there's nothing wrong with getting a $39 Shiva, putting a blade on it. Speaking about blades, if you wanted to do sits and you want to go heavy blades, as long as you have protective gear, that's fine. And then finally, particular to specific to Aiken Saber, we do fence with exotic weapons. Because there's a rule set where you have to arm, this is not a spear or a pike or a halberd. We use it as a naginata, and so you do have to arm before you strike. Now, when we use these kind of weapons, there is no melee. It's strictly right away only bout. All right, because in a melee, it's too easy to hurt somebody as you pull this back. So even though we have the light blade, you can only do right away with this. But if you're going to use this, you might as well use this too. So this is a soft shield from Soft Warrior or Spartan, as they're known. They're in Ukraine. These run about $60.
As you can see.
They're a lot of fun to fence with. We're going to probably buy some more of these and make this all part of what we do here at Aiken Saber. You certainly don't have to. You don't have to do it. So that allows you to fence different kinds of weapons, like this short saber that we used last week with this against against a naginata, or to use it against a longer saber, or however you want, or a crossblade or something like that. So, that is particularly. Last thing I wanted to show you before we go on to that, we showed you some of the equipment that they have. We just got this in from the same company, which is Soft Warrior, and it's a vest.
Love it.
There we go, a big head in here. Okay, so it's just a full vest, full torso protection, wraps around the side, shoulder pads that fold in, runs about $100, $90, something like that. This is perfect. I actually think this would stand up to 1-inch blades, but there's too many gaps in here. I wear a compression shirt that covers up those gaps. But for the sit system, this is actually pretty nice armor, and somebody said I look like Juggernaut from X-Men. So, we've always recommended the hockey gear before. I now say if you have enough money to spring for something like this, or a HEMA jacket, that's fine if you can get something for about $100. One thing about Soft Warrior, they're very responsive to answering your texts. Now, if you do have just a hockey gear, you can find one of these on Amazon, and this just slips in over your head, and it wraps really nicely around your lower torso, and I think this was $30. So if you have just hockey gear, and that's all you have, you can still protect your torso with this. And so there's all sorts of things that you can spend and not spend a lot of money on, which as a school is how you want to go. If you try to bring in new students and you're telling them you need to spend $500 to gear up, you're probably not going to keep your students very long. So what we're going to do now is we are going to actually do a sits match. We are going to need two of you guys to be. We need somebody to be a timer.
Timekeeper and 2 tickers.
Right. So I'll actually. You don't need 2 line reps to keep score in melee. when we get to melee, the umpire can also keep score for one of the fighters, so you're down to 2 refs and a scorekeeper and your fighters, and you can do a match that way if you don't have enough fighters. So this will work out okay. We could use one more person. So we're going to have Daniel and we're going to have Tully, and we're going to run the match just like we would, and we're going to start with right away. So we're going to stop videotaping. Stop.